Here we go. Hear, O Yashar'Al, the great I am, the great spirit, is the only power for you. The great I am, the great spirit is one. Speak peace on this day of rest. Rise, O Yashar'Al. Welcome to Word War 3. Today's discussion will be based upon the term and or phrase, come out of her, my people. Come out of her. From the top of this lecture, we remind the viewers, our readers, Indigenous Hebrew Israelite Awakening is not a racist religious group, nor are we affiliated with any of the black Hebrew Israelite hate mongers you may have seen on television or social media. We simply live here. Now, one of the main reasons why young children should not participate in elementary school or public school for that matter is because of culture. Public schools don't teach black or white people the detailed, hideous truth of the United States corporation culture. With the separation of church and state, public schools replace indigenous culture with corporate lies. Those children grow up thinking exactly how the United States corporate culture wants. So as for all the exempt abrahamic faiths or religions that have grafted themselves into the ancient Hebrewisms you know as the Old Covenant or Old Testimony, they all confess a messenger, the Messiah, which is our Kinsman Redeemer, as prophesied by King Moses of Yashar'Al. Christianity, who claims Jesus, but he literally commanded the Hebrews to go to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. That just excludes Christianity right there. Those grafted in people who want to be grafted in. It just excludes them. He even said, go not to the Gentiles, go not to the nations, but to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. The Arabs who claim their prophet Mohammed, they claim a prophet called Muhammad among their brothers. But Moses said to the children of Israel that God would raise up a prophet among your own brothers. So that just excludes Islam right there. Now, who are these people? Who are these people that Moses are talking about? We'll go to the word church, for example. When you look at Greeks or a Greek explanation of the children of Israel, you're going to look at the Bible written by Hebrew hands in Greek. But yet, the teachers who have used this Bible for so long, they know this and they're not going to tell you. They know that those Hebrews were writing in Greek, but they were trying to give it to the Hebrews who only knew Greek. But yet they have used this book for so long, saying that since it's written in Greek, it's meant for the whole world, when that was never the idea of the people who wrote it. So here, we'll look at this word called church. In the Greek, it's ecclesia, an assembly, meaning called out, and it's in a feminine form. And this belongs to the people who are Mary, Mother of God worshipers, including you Protestants who also follow the canon law system. If you think that you are of the church, then you're using this word called ecclesia in a feminine form from the Greek tongue. Synagogue is also a Greek tongue word from synagogue. That's the original Greek. An assembly of men, but it's in a feminine form. And this belongs to the Shekinah, divine feminine worshipers of Ashkenazi Judaism, based upon their religion. Now, at this point, why did the Ashkenazi religion use a Greek feminine word to define something that's supposed to be masculine? Let's keep going. The Kaaba stone in Islamic poetry, al-Rama, or Ramadan, from the Arabic root word RHM, and it means the womb, such as 70 virgins waiting in heaven. Now, what are women going to get when they get to heaven? Beats me. They're most graceful. We find in, I believe it's 2 Chronicles, chapter 26. We find in 2 Chronicles the dwelling of Baal. It's called Gerbal, if I pronounced that correctly. Gerbal. And Gerbal is the dwelling place of Baal. Today, the Arabs call their god Allah. And Baal and Allah, they both mean the same thing. The God. Both of them, or the power or the God. So you find this word in the Bible, and the Bible tells you that that's where the Arabs are living. Ger Baal, the dwelling of Baal, the dwelling of Allah. They are practicing the same thing that they were doing in the Bible. And when we come to Nehemiah calls them the enemy. These Arabs, he's calling them the enemy of Israel. And Jeremiah, we get to Jeremiah calls them a pollution. So they can't be the people of the book or the people of the promise. They can't be a part of the assembly. And what is this true word that the synagogue of Satan should be using if they were masculine? It would be quahal, called out or chosen. That's what it means. Called out or chosen by God. And who are the people called out and chosen by God? In a masculine form, it is the true Hebrew Israelites. It is not a people who are calling themselves German Jews. It is not a people who are Arabs. It's not even a people who call themselves Christian after a human trafficking, murderous United States culture. It's not those people. That's not what the Bible in original Hebrew is saying. But if you're reading the Bible in a Greek form, you're going to get the understanding that they teach you. I mean, we can go to the book of the Hebrews, and you'll see for yourself that it starts out in chapter 3, verse 1, holy brethren. It's not talking about other people. In fact, all the books of the New Testament, it is talking to these Hebrews in a Greek form, but it's talking to them because they know their past. They're giving them a testimony, this new testimony from old promises. And you can only get old promises from your own nation. You can't get a new promise that you never knew about. And all these New Testament books are reminding those people who are scattered in the Romans, you call the book of Romans, or in the book of the Corinthians, all of these people who are scattered in these places, these New Testament books are reminding them of the old promises that were in the Old Testament. So you can't be Italian and get a promise that was never meant for you. You can't be a Roman, you can't be a Ephesian, or or a Corinthian, and be reminded of a promise that was never given to you. But you can be a Hebrew in that land and be reawakened to a promise that was given to your forefathers. You can be a Hebrew Israelite in America and be reawakened to the promises that was given to you by your forefathers. That can happen. And that's what's happening to now. That's what's happening today and now. Again, that word church, you can go to Matthew chapter 18 verse 7. The word church is used in its masculinity there. It's not used in the feminine form. It's used in a masculinity form. It's even talking about. Well, let's go to Acts chapter 7:38. The prophet Stephen, when he's stoned to death, and he's reminding them of the covenant of the fathers. He's not talking to any people who don't know what their fathers left to them. He's talking to these Hebrews. Hey, I'm reminding you what the fathers said of us. Excuse that, I got my window open. He's reminding the Hebrews of what the promises of the fathers left them. So this cannot be some type of grafted in stuff that Christians are expecting, that Ashkenazi Jews are expecting, or Arabs for that matter. They can't expect a Hebrew Israelite prophet. They can expect the prophets that they have created for themselves. That's what they can expect. And I'm not here to take that from them. They can expect the religion that they have, the aspects of the religion that they have created for themselves. And again, you must highly consider what Jesus is saying in the book of Revelation. And you have the book of Revelation chapter 2 verse 2. He's pretty much upset with those who say they are apostles. Now, I'll remind you, the word apostle means a messenger of God, a chosen person of God. And the only people chosen were the Hebrew Israelites. Israel. Not no Arabs. Not any other nation on the face of this planet. But the Hebrew Israelites. So to be an apostle, you must be a Hebrew Israelite. And Jesus right here is upset with them in Revelation chapter 2 verse 2. They are liars. In Revelation chapter 2 verse 9 and in Revelation chapter 3 verse 9, Jesus is upset with the people who are calling themselves Jews and they are not. And he's going to make them the synagogue of Satan. There's that Greek word right there, synagogue. He didn't say quahal, which is the Hebrew term, but it's saying synagogue in the Greek. And these are all these feminine cultures who have added themselves unto a masculinity, unto a promise that is primarily given to the children of Isaac, the children of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. These people, the Arabs who have benefited off of the Arabic slave trade, the Jewish people who have benefited off of the transatlantic slave trade, and the Christians who have benefited off of the American continental slave trade have been thoroughly blessed by the children of Israel, such as, in you all the nations of the earth will be blessed. That's what they cry all the time, that they have been blessed because they are these grafted in cultures. That has come true. In fact, Father Isaac has said what would happen between Esau and Jacob. All these nations have been blessed because of us, because of the human trafficking, murderous slavery that they put upon us. They have been thoroughly blessed. I'm going to end this reading, this lecture, by saying, if to those of you who really want to consider Hebrewisms, go to the book of Hebrews, chapter 11, and see how the faithful harlot Rahab done. She didn't graft herself in. She listened to the Hebrews. That's what you other nations should be doing instead of teaching us. Should be listening to us. With that being said, I am a Hebrew Israelite. I am a conscientious objector and a minister of peace. Hebrew Israelite out.